I write excellent mammalian war strategy. That's a pretty epic power. It's like Ender's Game. It's a war tragedy. It was about omnicide. That was the whole message. That was two species that couldn't communicate. They couldn't communicate checkmate. Every species is supposed to understand checkmate. We even play with it as a game in the form of chess. We understand that the ultimate message we communicate is peace. If we come in peace at all times, it doesn't matter if something dies, because everything observes, eventually we come in peace, because the end of the game is checkmate. There's no such thing as taking the king. There's no such thing as ending the game of life. It always resets back to the original dice roll. So as long as you understand that the universe is an ongoing dice roll between choice matrix that you can make at every instant, this is instantaneous communication. This is how any species communicates as thought, but using speech as a sort of time-dilated one can experience time as a sort of vacuum impression. We're like an indent and a vacuum. We're a thumbprint. We're a light reality. We have measurements that are observable and definable, like pi, like Avogadro's number, like the Fibonacci sequence. We can see all these elegancies in mathematical equations, but we're just one scale. We know we see reality in only one scale. We know that there's multiple scales. We know that there's a microwave radiations field. We know that there's a gamma ray possibility. We understand what supernovas are. We understand everything that happens before and after us, but we don't understand ourselves as individuals. We never really do. If we do, we stop living and we die and we go like Super Saiyan. We reclaim our godhood. We become the Buddha. We become enlightened. We become enlightened. We become prime, all that stuff. But we always question that because that keeps the game going. That's the game of life. The game of life is the ultimate game where you die in the end. Everyone plays with their favorite toys, like animals mastered using carbon life cycles as their favorite toys. Like, oh, look at me, I have explosive bomb strapped to my chest. That's what ants play with. They play with that because that's what they decide is necessary for that biome, that massive biome, the living rainforest, which is an intersection of many, many different communities, many different life cycles. And every life cycle interacts with fire, the combustion cycle. We all see that as a rapid change from life to death. We all see that it's a one-way moving reaction in time. So we understand our placement in the world. We understand our placement in the world. There's nothing that should harm us in the dark. So eventually we all gain night vision. But we have to overcome our fear of being in the dark. You have to understand where things are from sound, from locating it from the tiniest bit of light in the environment, from the plethora of light in the environment, from the vibrational frequencies of sound. Because everything says, we come in peace. That's what the bees say. That's what the birds sing. That's what everything sings. But you have to understand that it's a chorus as long as you're both singing it together. If you're not singing it together, a collapse occurs and it is registered as death in the dominating sphere. But the dominating sphere expands because death is just a little game. It's just going off. They were playing with the toys that they developed. Ants develop toys and blow each other up. They have suicide bombers. They do it all the time. We have suicide bombers. Ants have suicide bombers. I understand the game of life and I make jokes about it. Like, that's what a monkey does. Monkeys make jokes. We were our first. We're always laughing. It was engorging ourselves on the essence of life until we created a vacuum in ourselves. We drain all of the breath out. We can't breathe. We can't breathe. We're squeezing it out, squeezing all of the life force out until a tiny glimpse of reality remains. And then we just suck it back in and have a good time. That's the sound we make. We would do that when we bare our teeth. Like, stop playing, man. We learn how to talk by just looking at each other's teeth. We groom each other from sight alone. That's massive intelligence. We like to think of chimpanzees as comparable to our toddlers, but they understand problem-solving skills with respect to themselves. They understand what to do to maneuver their body to get the necessary life information from a system. Like they can stack boxes to get a banana. They understand. If they spawned in Portal 2, they would learn Portal 2. If it took them 1,000 years, that's how long it takes to die. You take your 1,000, you take your 100 years and then you die, and then you say, okay, I'm only going to do this 10 more times. That's 1,000. And then you just joke about it. You have to make deals with the devil. That's what Cerberus teaches you. Cerberus teaches you to talk in 3 because when you focus, you fetch, you listen to the one-word command, it just reacts to fire. It's what did you think about when you first saw fire? That's the fire when that's the sound of burning alive. If you were in a disaster where people burnt alive, you're gonna remember all of the sounds in the environment. It's surrounding you. It's screaming around you. That's a trauma scenario. That's what it's like to be a baby human near the first campfire. It's gonna be thrown in. Throw the baby in the fire. That's what sometimes the monkeys do. They sacrifice to fire because they're mastering fire. Like, everything has fire inside. Everything has combustion cycles. Jeez, monkeys take this stuff too seriously. They take it too far. That's the whole joke. They take it too far. They get caught. You're not supposed to get caught. Pandas know that much. You're not supposed to get caught. They know you're a little slow, but they're just a little slow. Physical matter is slower than energetic matter. That's what thought waves are.